4 times title holder.
Early today, I stumbled upon a tweet, specifically this tweet, that had NASCAR adopted the 2014 point system a year earlier, Dale Earnhardt Jr. would have been the 2013 champion, without ever having won a race that year. Now, aside from the fact that I immediately wondered how Brian France could have possibly escaped Junior Nation's wrath following that particular circumstance, it got me thinking, was Dale Jr. really NASCAR's most worthy driver to have never won a championship? Jr. was a good driver, sure, no one's going to argue with that. I'm looking at you, Kyle Busch fans. But how good really was he? Today we're going to break down the 2013 NASCAR Cup Series season to figure out just how close Jr. came to winning it all, and once and for all end the debate about where he ranks in NASCAR's all-time great list. Coming into the 2013 season, Dale Jr. was likely still recovering from 2012's major concussion from the last lap of 2012's Talladega race. He'd sat out 2 races, returning to the series at Martinsville, and finished the year 12th in the drivers' standings. At this point, Jr. was a 17-time race winner in the Cup Series, a 2-time champion of the then Busch Series, and already the most popular driver in the sport for a record equaling 10 years in a row. A mixed preseason was quickly forgotten though, as Jr. shot out of the gates in the first 5 races. He finished second in the Daytona 500 behind teammate Jimmy Johnson, led 47 laps at Phoenix the next week, and came in the top 10 at Vegas and Bristol. A mixed bag at Fontana followed, with Jr. starting mid-pack and fighting a lengthy delayed pit stop after a lug nut issue. Dale rallied, however, and came in to finish second, taking the points lead from Brad Keselowski. The results cooled off a week after this, being collected in a wreck between Danica Patrick and Carl Edwards at Martinsville, and at Texas, despite running near the front, finishing 29th and 2 laps down after his battery alternator quit during the race. A run of mediocre results caused by bad luck with accidents, delays on pit road, and raw pace of other contenders followed. Despite finishing 7th in the All-Star race, the week after, Jr. suffered his first DNF since 2011, when his engine failed at the Coca-Cola 600. So far, the season wasn't looking good for Dale Jr. or Hendrick Motorsports, with poor results creeping into the team's form. Jr. finished 3rd at Pocono, but this was followed by the team's low point for the season, as 3 cars DNF'd in the Quicken Loans 400 after Jr. had led 27 laps before finishing 37th. This poor luck was starting to epitomise Dale Jr.'s entire season. He'd set the track qualifying speed record and won the pole at Kentucky, but wound up finishing 12th following his car being struck by a fragment cut from the tyres of Denny Hamlin's 11. This was followed by an 8th place finish at the Coke Zero 400, with Jr. being one of the only 3 drivers to make the top 10 in both Daytona races for that year. After finishing 14th at New Hampshire whilst battling a car vibrating itself to pieces, Jr. would wrestle the disintegrating Chevrolet to 6th at Indianapolis and 5th at Pocono, overcoming loose wheels, strange vibrations, and partially blocked intakes. A late race crash at Watkins Glen while battling Casey Kane wound Jr. up into 30th. However, Jr. finished 10th at Bristol and 8th at Atlanta to build up a gap for his chase qualification. 2013 marked the first time in his career that Jr. had made the chase for 3 consecutive years in a row, but that buzz was halted after he suffered an engine failure in the first championship race at Chicago. The 88 team rallied, however, and delivered a 6th place finish at New Hampshire after having led 17 laps. Earnhardt moved to 11th in the chase standings with 8 races to go. At the Monster Mile, Dover Motor Speedway, Jr. secured his 2nd pole of the season, while setting a new speed record for qualifying, reaching 161.849 miles per hour. This was the first time since '02 that he had had more than 1 pole in a season. He led 8 laps the next day, but finished second to teammate Jimmy Johnson. He finished 8th at Kansas, and then led 19 laps on his 500th Cup start at Charlotte a week later in a car that was wound way too tight, and finished 15th. The next week would prove crucial to the chase. The 2013 Talladega Championship race found Jr. having led 38 laps, and set to overtake Jamie McMurray for the lead on the last lap. Austin Dillon was lined up to push Jr. around McMurray and send the 88 to victory lane, when Ricky Stenhouse Jr. tapped Dillon, spinning him out and collecting Casey Mears, leaving Earnhardt to come in second, missing out on what could have been a vital win and the momentum it could have provided for his team. Earnhardt shrugged off this unfortunate result by finishing 8th at Martinsville, and then second to Johnson again at Texas. At Phoenix, Jr. was hampered by a loose wheel early in the race, but valiantly fought back to secure a 4th place finish. That brought the season to the finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. The final phase consisted of 67 laps and a 3-way fight for the lead between Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, and Denny Hamlin. Ultimately though, it was Hamlin who won, while Jr. came in 3rd, and while this was his first top 5 at Homestead, it wasn't enough, and he finished 5th in the points and a career high of 22 top 10s for the season. On January 30th, 2014, NASCAR announced radical changes to the chase for the Sprint Cup, redistributing point scoring and increasing the numbers of drivers involved. These revisions had been in the works for a rumored 2.5 years. This led to some debate about whether they could have been applied for the 2013 season, which would have meant, despite not winning a race and struggling for consistency, the champion would have been Dale Earnhardt Jr. Brian France, chairman of NASCAR, had stated the changes were to place a greater emphasis on winning, but the ultimate champion for 2013 would not have been 6-time winner Jimmie Johnson, 7-time race winner Matt Kenseth, or 4-time winner Kevin Harvick. If the rules had applied for 2013, the Kenseth's poor finish at Phoenix in the penultimate race would have knocked him from the top 4 when the points were reset, giving Junior the slot along with 3-time race winners from the last chase segment, which were Jeff Gordon, Jimmie Johnson, and Kevin Harvick. The results from Homestead, where Earnhardt's 3rd place finish trumps Johnson's 9th, would have seen Earnhardt crowned champion for the year. At the moment of his retirement, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was a 2-time Daytona 500 winner and had 26 wins in the Cup Series. He's tied 31st for all-time wins, 260 top 10s, and 15 poles, and has since been inducted into both the Texas Motorsports Hall of Fame and the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte. This is a stellar record. For a driver who is still one of the most popular figures in motorsports, Junior obviously had what it takes to be a champion, but had always been denied by factors often outside of his control. Racing against record-setting champions like Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson in the same team would have posed a seemingly insurmountable challenge. He had come close to the title early in his career, in 2003, having won at Talladega and Phoenix, and finishing 3rd in the points, losing out to Jimmie Johnson and Matt Kenseth only due to poor performances in the first 2 races of the year. So, as a fan of both the sport and of juniors, I think it's fair to say that Junior deserves to be a Cup Series champion, even if fate didn't wish it to be so. His driving style was something he admitted was nothing like his father's famous intimidator approach, favouring an in-the-moment cleaner approach, but Junior clearly possesses his father's speed and instincts behind the wheel. Having had to adjust to 3 different generations of car throughout his career isn't exactly an easy feat either. But Junior's consistency from his Cup debut at the Motegi Twin Ring in '98 to his retirement in 2017 shows that he doesn't need to hold the trophy to be a champion in our eyes. If you enjoyed that video, remember to subscribe to the channel, leave a like down below, and follow me on Twitter over at Need for Speeding. I'd like to hear your thoughts on who you think is the best driver in NASCAR history to have never won a championship. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.